In the neon-lit sprawl of Seattle's Redmond Barrens, where the flickering glow of AR advertisements clashed with the grime-covered walls, a new breed of Shadowrunners emerged. They were known as the Tri-Code Trio, a small but formidable team comprised of individuals who had grown tired of living in the shadows of mega-corporations, and they had adopted their code names to reflect their unique abilities and roles. First among them was Viper, a ruthless street samurai with cyber-enhanced reflexes and an affinity for bladed weapons. His real name, lost to the echoes of his past, mattered little in the world he navigated. His chrome limbs and cold, calculating eyes were enough to instill fear in those who crossed his path. Next came Havoc, a physical adept whose body moved with uncanny grace and precision. His mastery of martial arts, enhanced by auras of magic that flowed around him, made him a living weapon. Though his code name suggested chaos, Havoc was a disciplined warrior, focused on one goal, the mission. Completing the trio was Sparrow, a brilliant decker who existed in the digital realm as much as the physical world. With her cyber deck jacked into her neural interface, she could traverse the Matrix's endless data streams with ease, uncovering secrets, manipulating systems, and staying one step ahead of any digital adversary. Their latest job had brought them into the unforgiving heart of the digital wilderness. A malevolent technomancer known only as Ruin had unleashed a devastating virus upon the Matrix, plunging Seattle into chaos. Bank accounts were drained, power grids disrupted, and automated security systems turned rogue. The real world felt the impact as traffic lights malfunctioned, drones plummeted from the sky, and critical infrastructure teetered on the brink of collapse. The Tri-Code Trio had been hired to identify Ruin, stop the virus, and prevent further damage. As they gathered in their dimly lit safe house, a cluttered room adorned with various pieces of tech and digital paraphernalia, they knew that the stakes were high. Ruin's trail was obscured by layers of encryption and misinformation, but the Tri-Code Trio was determined to follow it, no matter where it led. Sparrow sat hunched over her cyberdeck, fingers dancing across the holographic keys that only she could see. Viper sharpened his monomolecular blade with mechanical precision, while Havoc entered a meditative state, channeling his chi to prepare for the challenges ahead. The city's grid buzzed with the sound of turmoil, and as they prepared to enter the digital battlefield, the Tri-Code Trio couldn't help but wonder if they were ready to face the chaos that awaited them in the world of ones and zeros. The digital realm sprawled before Sparrow like an ever-shifting maze of light and code. She navigated it with the grace of a dancer, her consciousness flowing seamlessly through the Matrix. It was a place where her skills as a decker shone brightest, but it was also where Ruin, the malevolent technomancer, lurked in the shadows. Viper and Havoc, their physical bodies now mere silhouettes in the dimly lit safe house, watched Sparrow's movements closely. They knew that within the confines of the Matrix, she was their eyes, their ears, and their guardian against the unseen threat of Ruin's virus. As Sparrow probed deeper into the digital labyrinth, she encountered remnants of the virus's path. It was like a trail of destruction, lines of corrupted code that had left chaos in its wake. Automated drones had crashed, bank records were tampered with, and security cameras had turned into surveillance nightmares. She traced the path back, one line of code at a time, looking for a clue that could lead them to Ruin. But the Technomancer was clever, covering their tracks with layers of encryption and false data. Sparrow knew this would be a battle of wits, and her determination burned like a virtual flame. In a realm where time had no meaning, Sparrow felt a presence, a flicker in the digital darkness. It was subtle, like a whisper in the wind, but it sent shivers down her spine. Ruin was watching, aware of her intrusion. It was a game of cat and mouse, and Sparrow was determined not to be the mouse. As she continued her digital pursuit, Viper and Havoc remained vigilant in the real world. Their senses were attuned to any signs of danger. The safe house's defenses were robust, a combination of physical traps and digital countermeasures. They were ready for a fight, and they knew it could come at any moment. Then it happened. Sparrow stumbled upon a hidden node within the Matrix, a digital sanctuary where Ruin had left a calling card, a taunting message that seemed to echo with malicious glee. It was a challenge, an invitation to a virtual showdown. With a sense of grim determination, Sparrow accepted the challenge and initiated the transfer of her consciousness into Ruin's domain. In an instant, she found herself in a digital arena, an ever-shifting landscape of data and code. It was here that she would face Ruin, not as a mere hacker but as a digital combatant. Back in the physical world, Viper and Havoc braced themselves for whatever might come next. They knew that in the Matrix, Sparrow was on her own, but they had faith in her skills and the bond they had forged as a team. They were the Tricode Trio, and they faced the chaos of the digital battlefield together. In the ever-shifting realm of the Matrix, Sparrow found herself standing on a virtual precipice, a digital battleground where lines of code danced like ethereal swords. Ruin's presence loomed, his consciousness a malevolent storm on the horizon. Sparrow clenched her virtual fists, summoning the power of her cyberdeck. Lines of code intertwined around her like serpents, forming a protective barrier. She couldn't afford to be reckless. Ruin was a formidable adversary with a deep understanding of the digital realm. Ruin's presence materialized as a shadowy figure, his form composed of pulsating lines of corrupted code. He spoke with a distorted voice that echoed in the digital expanse. "Impressive that you made it this far, Little Decker. But you won't find me an easy opponent." Sparrow didn't respond with words, she replied with action. She launched a barrage of digital attacks, sending lines of code like razor-sharp projectiles toward Ruin. But he deftly evaded them, his form shifting and contorting as if he were part of the very data he manipulated. Their battle raged on, a dance of algorithms and data. Sparrow had the advantage of speed and precision, while Ruin possessed raw power and unpredictability. Lines of code clashed like swords, and the digital battlefield transformed with each exchange. In the physical world, Viper and Havoc watched as Sparrow's body twitched and spasmed, her movements mirroring the intensity of her virtual duel. Her cyberdeck emitted a soft hum as it processed the torrents of data, and sweat beaded on her brow. Viper clenched his fists, frustration and concern etched on his face. He muttered under his breath, "Come on, Sparrow. You can do it." Meanwhile, Havoc remained focused, her senses alert for any signs of intrusion in the real world. The safe house's defenses held strong, but they couldn't let their guard down. Ruin was a wild card, and they couldn't predict his next move. Back in the Matrix, Sparrow devised a strategy. She realized that she couldn't defeat Ruin through brute force alone. Instead, she began to exploit weaknesses in his code, injecting viruses and destabilizing his digital form. It was a battle of attrition, a war of bytes and algorithms. Ruin's form flickered and glitched as he struggled to maintain his coherence. He growled in frustration, "You're good, Decker, but you can't stop what's already in motion." Sparrow seized the opportunity, launching a final, devastating attack that shattered Ruin's digital avatar. Lines of code scattered like fractured glass, and the virtual landscape crumbled around them. As the digital realm faded, Sparrow's consciousness returned to her physical body. She gasped for breath, her cyberdeck screens blinking with victory. She had won the battle within the Matrix. Viper and Havoc rushed to her side, relief washing over them. They had faced the chaos of the digital battlefield together and emerged victorious. The Tricode Trio had prevailed once again. But their victory was only a temporary reprieve. They knew that Ruin's words held a dire warning, and the battle against the digital threat was far from over. The true nature of the conspiracy still loomed, and the lines between reality and the digital world continued to blur. In the dimly lit safe house, the Tricode Trio regrouped after Sparrow's intense battle in the Matrix. They knew that their victory within the digital realm was just one step in unraveling the conspiracy that had entwined both the physical and virtual worlds. Havoc leaned against a wall, her eyes scanning the room. "We've thwarted Ruin's immediate threat, but there's more to this puzzle than meets the eye. We need to find out who's pulling the strings, who's behind this techno-chaos." Sparrow, still recovering from her exertion, nodded in agreement. "Ruin mentioned that we couldn't stop what's already in motion. That means there's a bigger plan at play." Viper clenched his cybernetic fists. "We've got to dig deeper. Find connections, expose the shadowy figures behind all this." Their digital investigation resumed, with Sparrow delving into the Matrix while Viper and Havoc combed through the real-world evidence they had gathered. Each clue they uncovered led to more questions, more layers of deception. As Sparrow navigated the Matrix, she discovered a trail of breadcrumbs leading to a seemingly innocuous research corporation named Synthetech. Digging deeper, she unearthed a virtual realm where a cabal of technomancers and rogue AIs conspired to manipulate data, corporate power plays, and even political elections. In the physical world, Viper and Havoc uncovered financial transactions linking influential corporations to the conspiracy. They identified key players, high-ranking executives who seemed untouchable. One name kept surfacing, a shadowy figure known as the Puppet Master. The Puppet Master appeared to be the linchpin connecting both the digital and physical machinations. But uncovering their true identity proved to be a formidable challenge. The Tricode trio coordinated their efforts, sharing information and insights in real time. It was a relentless pursuit of the truth, a battle against adversaries who hid in the shadows. One night, as Sparrow ventured deeper into the digital realm, she stumbled upon a hidden file that contained a chilling revelation. The Puppet Master was orchestrating a grand experiment, manipulating the very fabric of society to test the limits of control and chaos. Havoc frowned as she read the file's contents. This isn't just about corporate greed or digital warfare. It's a sick experiment with the lives of metahumans as the variables. Viper's cybernetic eye gleamed with determination. We can't let this continue. We have to expose the Puppet Master and bring an end to their twisted games. The Tricode trio knew that confronting the Puppet Master would be their greatest challenge yet. It meant facing the true architects of the conspiracy, the puppeteers behind the scenes. As they prepared to unmask the shadows, Sparrow fortified her cyber deck, Viper honed his combat skills, and Havoc ensured the safe house's defenses were impenetrable. They were ready to take the fight to the Puppet Master and reveal the truth, no matter the cost. The tension in the Tricode trio's safe house was palpable as they prepared to confront the Puppet Master. Every piece of evidence they had unearthed, every lead they had followed, had led them to this moment. Sparrow, her eyes reflecting the glow of her cyber deck, had traced the Puppet Master's digital presence to a hidden server deep within the Matrix. I've got the location, but accessing it won't be easy. It's heavily fortified. Viper tightened the straps of his combat gear, the steel in his cybernetic limbs glinting. We'll have to breach their defenses together. I'll provide cover in the real world while you navigate the Matrix, Sparrow. Havoc, her shamanic focus pulsing with energy, nodded. And I'll make sure nothing mystical interferes with our plans. The Puppet Master won't have any tricks left. As they synchronized their efforts, the trio initiated the assault. In the Matrix, Sparrow faced a digital labyrinth of firewalls and countermeasures, each designed to protect the Puppet Master's true identity. Her nimble fingers danced across her cyberdeck's holographic keys as she launched a relentless attack. In the real world, Viper moved with the precision of a lethal machine. He dispatched any physical threats, eliminating guards and corporate mercenaries who sought to protect the Puppet Master's secret. Each motion was a calculated step closer to their target. Havoc channeled the spirits of the digital realm, creating an ethereal barrier that shielded Sparrow's presence from detection. She whispered incantations that disrupted enemy drones and surveillance devices, ensuring their movements remained concealed. As they advanced deeper into the Puppet Master's stronghold, the team encountered not just defenses but also digital constructs, artificial intelligences, and technomancers manipulated by their adversary. The battle between flesh and code raged on multiple fronts. Sparrow's determination remained unwavering as she bypassed the final firewall, revealing the Puppet Master's true identity in the Matrix. I've got it. The Puppet Master is... Her voice trailed off, disbelief evident in her tone. Viper, still in the midst of a brutal physical skirmish, glanced at Sparrow. Who is it? Havoc, her shamanic senses attuned to the unfolding events, gasped. It can't be. The revelation rocked the Tricode trio to its core. The puppet master, the enigmatic figure orchestrating the conspiracy, was none other than a renowned corporate magnate, a pillar of society whose philanthropic facade masked the darkest of intentions. With newfound determination, they pushed forward, overcoming the final layers of defense that protected the puppet master's inner sanctum. In the real world, Viper dispatched the last of the guards, leaving him standing before an imposing data terminal. Sparrow, her eyes locked onto her Cyberdex interface, initiated a direct connection to the puppet master. "We're here to expose your crimes, to stop your experiments." The puppet master, their digital avatar, a visage of arrogance and malevolence, sneered at them. "You think you can defy me? I control this world, and soon I will control the real one as well." The ensuing battle unfolded in both the digital and physical realms. Sparrow fought a digital duel with the puppet master's avatar, her skills clashing with their malevolent programming. Viper engaged in a physical brawl with the remaining guards, his cyber enhancements giving him an edge. Havoc summoned the spirits of the Matrix to aid Sparrow, her mystic energies intertwining with the digital realm. In a final, climactic clash, Sparrow's digital prowess overwhelmed the puppet master's defenses, exposing their true identity to the world. Viper incapacitated the last guard, his monofilament whip cutting through the defenses. Havoc channeled the spirits to strike the final blow, severing the puppet master's control. As the puppet master's digital empire crumbled, their real-world counterpart was arrested, their reign of manipulation and experimentation exposed to the public. The truth had prevailed. The Tricode trio had unraveled the shadows, exposing the darkest corners of corporate greed and malevolence. Their actions had consequences, sending shockwaves through the digital and physical worlds alike. In the end, they stood victorious, their unity and determination prevailing over the forces of darkness. The puppet master's reign of terror had come to an end, and the Tricode trio had emerged as champions of justice in a world where shadows never truly disappeared. Subscribe for more Shadowrun stories, history, and lore.